So I'm out here in the backyard doing some daytime astronomy, namely trying to look at the sun. And I realized I had a problem this morning. Actually, I didn't realize it this morning. I've known for a while that I've had a problem in that when I would track the sun or any object, but particularly with the sun is where this was noticeable, what I'd notice is that the object would shift across my field of view over time. Now, this is quite normal if you have poor polar alignment, but anyone who's been watching my channel knows that I pay particular attention and I pride myself on really good polar alignment. So what gives? Why are objects drifting across my field of view? At first I thought it was because I was using an incredibly overloaded NexStar 6SE mount. That's the same mount that the OIII uses and very similar to the 5 and the 4. This single fork mount is not really designed for very heavy OTAs. It maxes out at around 13 to 14 pounds according to documentation. My telescope weighs a heck of a lot more than that. Heck, it's got a couple of pounds worth of actual counterweights at the back end of it. So I have grossly overloaded this mount and I'm expecting to have some flex happening. So I've let this go for a long time. But today I started thinking, well, what if it's not just the mount flex? What if it's a problem with my Shaky Pier? So let's see if we can get this fixed. Hi, my name is Chris, and welcome to my channel. Now, I thought that the flex might be coming from the mount itself. And so I've previously already tightened the retaining bolt down the center of the right ascension axis of this mount, which means taking off the cover and using a large wrench to tighten that hex bolt. So I know that's not it. But if I try to move this telescope back and forth, I don't know if the camera will pick up the slight shift left and right as I push the top of the fork arm left and right, but I can see that the telescope is securely held to the fork arm is securely held to the base. In fact, what's shifting is the actual wedge itself, so the wedge kind of moves side to side. That wedge is bolted to this support frame here, or this base, and unfortunately that base is kind of flimsy. Normally you'd use a machined piece of metal as a base for your mount, and I'm not doing that. I'm using a piece of plastic PVC board, which inherently has some flex in it, but also it's sitting on this much narrower post. This is actually a fence post that's been reinforced with metal corners and this additional framing here, these 2x4s that are securing the whole post from shifting. And the post is fairly secure as a post can be. The flex seems to be coming right from this area here. So as I move this left and right, what's shifting is this base on top of this fence post. So I need to do something to firm this up. Now, in order to do that, I have purchased a whole bunch of brackets. And I'm going to fix those in place. And then I'm going to track the sun for the rest of today, and hopefully there will not be any more drift. If my polar alignment is good and I've fixed the flex in this mount, I should see pretty good precision tracking in the right ascension axis of this telescope. So let's do that. Perfect. Now, before I started, I made sure to point my telescope at the meridian to make sure that it was centered down the line so that there wouldn't be any left or right shift. All right, let's see if this helps. I think so. I think that is a lot firmer than it was before. I'm going to head up, point at the sun, and see it track over the rest of today. As a side note, why is this problem particularly apparent when observing the sun? Well, that's easy. It's because at night I am using guiding, which means even though there's flex and the right ascension rate doesn't exactly match because of this flex, that error is compensated for by guiding adjustments. But when observing the sun, I am not using any kind of guiding. Therefore, the mount is just tracking in right ascension using its internal tracking rate, which, set to solar, should be the same as the motion of the sun. And if my polar alignment is good, that target should remain centered in my field of view. But because it's not, and the sun is drifting across the entire field of view, that tells me that the issue is either with my polar alignment, which I refuse to admit, or flex in the mount or pier. Well, would you look at that? There is still some flex in the system. Obviously, the sun started right in the middle, and throughout the entire afternoon, right up to about, you can see it's about to sink behind the edge of the house, it got all the way to here, and now we can see that a portion of it is in fact cut off at the field of view, or cut off at the edge of the field of view. Now, this seems bad, but you have to remember where we started. If any of you have seen my solar live stream, where I live streamed the sun and the moon and Jupiter for about 8 or 9 hours, what you would have remembered is that the sun had completely disappeared off the edge of the screen by this time. And that was with multiple adjustments. This time, I centered the sun at noon, and I let the mount track for the entire day. And right now, it's early evening. The sun is setting behind the house, and the sun is still visible. So I would consider that a success. Obviously, there is still some flex left. It could still be at the top, near where the wedge is connected to the top of the pier, or it could be the pier itself. I mean, the pier is a long piece of wood. It's effectively a fence post that's been reinforced, but it is a fence post. So there's bound to be some sort of flex to that. What I'm really hoping to see is the effects of adding those brackets on my guiding. Everything was looking good. My guiding was not bad last night after all these changes. But then when I looked at the guide graph this morning, I was expecting that the oscillations towards the end of the night, so as the target slewed, or the target went all the way to the west, I was expecting the oscillations to remain smaller. And in fact, what I was seeing was not that different from what I had previously seen. Now, part of that could be because the guide stars were disappearing behind the house, and because of this, the guiding started to go all wonky. So that is possible, and I was not up at 5 o'clock in the morning to see that happen. But today, I tried tracking the sun again, and at first, I thought things were okay. I had centered the sun in the morning as the telescope was pointing to the east, and as the sun rose in the field of view, it started to shift down and to the left. That could be one of two issues. So if it's no longer flex, it could be the tracking rate. It's possible, unlikely. It could be that the wedge itself is on an angle, so it has to be flat left and right. If it's on an angle, then the arc that the right ascension traces out will not match the path of celestial objects. Now, normally I do check to make sure that the wedge is level, and I do put little shims on the sides because as the seasons change, temperature changes, I do find that there is a bit of flex and shift in the 6-foot fence post. So it's a possibility, less likely. The most likely thing at this point is, and I hate to admit this, that my polar alignment might be off. I think I'm good in right ascension, but getting the right polar alignment in the declination, so getting the angle right, is difficult, especially if there was flex on either end, either in the east or west. Because when you do a drift alignment and you adjust your declination, you are pointing east or west. So if you have flex in the mount, if things shift as you're pointing east or west, then your declination as a result will be off. And that would explain why, as I'm tracking, things are shifting on a diagonal, not just left or right, but the sun is going down, and I guess from the angle of the camera, it would be down to the left. Here's what I did. Last night, when it got dark, I redid my drift alignment, both in right ascension and declination, after having adjusted the declination during the day. And the results were quite interesting. My right ascension was perfect. It was spot on. The drift graph was perfect. My declination was way off. I had to turn the declination knob at least twice in order to get it into alignment. Now, armed with the proper drift alignment in declination, I was getting some really great guiding results. In fact, I was getting sub 1 arcsecond error on my guiding, which for this telescope and this mount is actually pretty darn good. Unfortunately, when I checked the guide graph in the morning, the last 400 adjustments seemed quite high in terms of oscillations once again. Now, that could be because I was losing guide stars behind the house, or it could just be because guiding deteriorated at the extremes. That's not terrible for this mount and this telescope, and guiding certainly compensates for it when I'm imaging at night, which gives me pretty good guiding and pretty good results when it comes to imaging. This is a discount mount that comes with the telescope. The mount itself is relatively inexpensive, and as such, it's not perfect. So there is a periodic error to the gearing of the mount. So the gears are slightly, the technical term is wonky. So with wonky gears, you can still get pretty good imaging by compensating with guiding. But if you're tracking an object like the sun, or if you're tracking without the aid of guiding at night, just be prepared that you're going to have to deal with some travel over the course of the night. I think that's it for now. If you guys have any other suggestions, thoughts about this, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and until next time, clear skies.